A blessed Imbolc 2025 to you. It is the first day of spring, and if you live in a climate like mine, it's just been cold for an unusually long time, and I cannot wait to see spring on its way. Today I'm going to do a tarot reading and see what Spirit would like to let us know on this particular Imbolc blessed day. I am using the Wildwood Tarot. I thought that would be appropriate for this particular reading. I haven't shuffled yet, but I'm not putting any reversals in. Spirit says that reversals are not needed, and I typically don't put reversals into the Wildwood Tarot unless Spirit asks me to do so. So the way this works is I shuffle until Spirit asks me to stop, and then we start talking about the message. What's on bottom is the Four of Bows. Celebration, also known as the Four of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. This is about something huge to celebrate. In spite of all the stuff, all the shit that's been going on, especially if you're in the United States, there's still reason to celebrate with your friends, your family, with the community that you trust. There's still reason to do so. And if it's as simple as celebrating what others have, that's cool too. Okay? Well, that was the bottom of the energy of the deck. And we're going to switch over to the top. We have the Wheel of Fortune here. Traditionally. That's my kitty cat, okay? But this is about the wheel. Let me give her a pet. This is about us weaving our destiny. And as long as we are weaving our destiny in alignment with what the universe wants, with what our guides, our gods, our ancestors want, it'll be okay. But keep in mind, if there are some threads in there that should not be there, then the universe will pull them out. I just did a reading about what the United States has to face in February of this year, and Temperance came up in reverse. The people of the United States, those who live in it, have not been good. They have not been good. They have lived by the sword, and now they're going to have to see what it is like to die by it. Maybe not literally, okay. But the nation will be forced to see the consequences of continually waging war, for example. Okay, I don't want to get too far off topic. But our destiny our fate is tied together with our communities. These cards are based on a time period in which tight communities, small villages were the only way a human could really survive. Throughout all the harsh seasons and throughout harvests, those kinds of things, while growing crops, while raising animals, the fate of the individual was tied to the fate of the village or the community that they were in. And so it is with you, if you are listening, okay? What you've got coming up over the next several years is going to mean that you need to be deeply tied together with a community that you can trust. And trust that the universe will guide you to the community that you are meant to be with. They'll show up along your path when you least expect it. Welcome those people in, even if you're kind of a Queen of Swords in the sense that you keep people out, because you've been hurt so many times. Acknowledge that trauma, but also move into the strength of choosing to move on, in spite of everything that you've been through. Here we have the Six of Vessels, and that is reunion, and a very beautiful card. This might be a literal, actual family reunion that you go to, but this could be a reunion of souls that have been reincarnated over multiple lifetimes, and you've been put together for this particular lifetime for a reason. Watch out for those people who pop up seemingly randomly on your path. It's not random at all. There are no coincidences where the universe is concerned. Your fate is tied together with these people, and it's going to feel pretty good once you start to get in the flow of things with these particular people that you are meant to be with. For some reason, pride festivals, comes to mind. I always feel like I have so much fucking fun at pride festivals. I love being together with my community. I love going to pagan festivals. I love being together with my community. Even when the energy is very overpowering for me sometimes, it is 100,000% worth it. You need to be together with community. You will feel good. It will feel right when you are together with people that you trust, who get you and how you get them too. You will feel it, okay? It'll feel good. This is the King of Arrows, also known as the King of Swords, and this is symbolized in a kingfisher bird. I would love for you to look up a video on YouTube of how the kingfisher bird hunts. It's a very unique bird. It hovers kind of like a hummingbird, and it moves quickly. That's what this hand symbolizes, okay? It moves quickly. It hovers in the air above a riverbed, for instance, and it hunts for fish kind of like a drone might. And when it sees the fish that it wants, it dives down really quick into the water and pops back up, and it has the fish that it wants. Note how long that beak is. And definitely when you watch the video, take a look at how long that beak is. It is meant for spear fishing, all natural spear fishing, if you will. And so it should be with you. When you find the people that you're meant to be with, go towards them as quickly as possible, because you'll know it. You'll feel it in your bones. It will just feel right for you to be together with these folks. But at the same time, you will want to defend them with all of your strength as well. This is the King of Arrows. With the King of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, that is air and fire energy. This is someone who is a great mental, has a very powerful mind, very tall IQ even, is a great planner, and knows when to execute action when it's time to do so. The kings of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith are often set up with armor, like their counterpart, the Emperor, is. These are entities who are willing to go to war in defense of their communities in order to protect them, and are willing to lay down their lives to protect those most disadvantaged in their communities, okay? So it should be with you. Here you've got the star, also known as the pole star. A time of deep healing, and this is interesting. I've got a pair of major arcana stacked on top of each other. Your destiny may not always be clear, but as long as you are following the guidance of the universe, you will always weave a fabric that is meant to be treasured, that is meant to be deeply valued, that is meant to be passed on to generations. You are meant to pass on a legacy, a story that matters. Even if you don't have any children, you can absolutely pass on your story through the longevity of your community, okay? Here we've got the Seven of Stones in kind of alignment with the feeling of the star. This is about healing, and so is this. This is a fallen warrior who is being healed by a green woman, and he's in the midst of some dolmens. Those rocks are called dolmens, and they are sacred to druids and to green witch people, okay? Green witchcraft practitioners. Excuse my stumbling over words. This is a time of rest and of allowing, in spite of everything that you've been through, of allowing others to heal you and allowing the universe to heal you as well. It won't just be others. This is where you and others in your communities that you feel tightly connected to heal each other's Chiron wounds. Everybody's walking around with a Chiron wound somewhere inside of them. Some of them appear more plainly than others. Others are deeply hidden, but everyone's got a Chiron wound. And when we heal others, we in turn heal ourselves gradually over time. Maybe not permanently, not completely, but we do heal ourselves when we are tightly connected to others who understand that we're all walking around with wounds that must be healed. Being together with others is going to heal a lot of the wounds of possibly being out of place. You might not be in a community right now where you do feel settled to be yourself. And even if this is appearing at a time when you're not, when this reading is appearing at a time when you're not in a community where you feel safe, This is telling me that you are most likely going to find one, but you have to pay attention to the universe. When it indicates that these are people that you're meant to be with, you'll get with your vibes, with your intuition, like these are good people that I'm meant to be around. When you get there, it's going to be an incredibly healing moment. You're going to feel like you're home at last. Reunion is going to bring about healing for you, literally. The cards are saying that. Here we've got another major arcana card. This is the Judgment card, the Great Bear. This is about you going into a time where you are in deep meditation, possibly where you are by yourself. This isn't a real burial in the sense that you are dead. It's in the sense that you are going to be reflecting on the traditions that are intrinsic to your community, whatever community that may be. And keep in mind, even if you're in the LGBT community, for instance, the LGBT community has always been here since the beginning of humanity, okay? There are traditions that we don't have access to anymore because we've lost that memory. But here, the universe is asking you to come into that tradition of memories that have been lost and recall those memories. This is absolutely possible. Be aware that there will be opportunities for you to come into great reflection, and that celebration is going to bring about feelings from the past that you didn't realize were there. And I mean by the past as in before your lifetime, okay? Collective memory absolutely exists. Collective trauma also exists, okay? And when you come into a place where you are able to meditate on what your community has been through and even what your lineage has been through before it came to you, you're going to be able to acquire all kinds of really neat wisdom that you wouldn't have had otherwise if you hadn't stopped for a while and done things to a degree by yourself. Even if you're in a community, your spiritual path is still your own. Nobody can walk your spiritual path for you. You can't walk other people's spiritual paths for them, even if they're your romantic partner. Even if you have a romantic partner, okay? Even if you have children or not, you cannot walk that path for others. They cannot walk that path for you. You must do it for yourself. For some of you, that might mean becoming a spiritual guide, a community storyteller, once your time in this particular tomb is finished. Something that's going on it's the aurora borealis behind the polar bear is really coming to mind here. This is a time of gazing out at the beauty of the universe and staying with it, not allowing your mind to wander, observing and enjoying the beauty of the universe. In a sense, by yourself. Not totally. You can be sitting with others, but you can be mindfully enjoying what the universe has to present to you in its own beauty. Okay? There's a lesson to be learned from what nature has to teach us. And I also know, we're going to pull out this card again. There's a lot of symbolism on these cards. Above the aurora borealis is the Big Dipper, or the Little Dipper. I don't know which, okay? It's the Little or the Big Dipper. That's about cup energy. That's about deep intuition, deep emotions, love, compassion, love in all its forms, okay? Not just romantic, not just for friends and family, but for humanity. It's you being called into a very deep moment that will increase your love for humanity and, by extension, your community as well, and for yourself too. We've got more water imagery here. This is the moon on water, also known as the moon. This is a time of deep mystery right here. You've got cranes flying around, a deeply sacred animal to druid imagery, to pagan imagery. You've also got an egg underneath here, underneath the water. The waters are not choppy at all. This is a smooth, fast-flowing river. It's also a bit on the shallow side. Not the deepest river in the world, but that is a very large egg. Something's about to hatch here. You've got the Tarian bull down here, or in the background as well. This is about Taurus and about being comfortable with staying in a place where things are about to hatch, but they're not there yet. This is a time where you need to grow into who you're meant to be, your true purpose for your existence in this lifetime. A time of great mysticism. If you are not on a serious spiritual path yet, consider this the beginning of spring, Imbolc. Consider this to be the start of this time period, okay? Take this seriously. You have to do this if you're going to go through the next several years mindfully, consciously, in spite of how painful things are most likely going to be. If you are in a traditionally disadvantaged group, this is going to be especially painful for you to watch, even if it doesn't affect you personally. Even if you personally aren't being attacked, you are likely to see others in your community being attacked. That's going to be agonizing. Allow the macro evolution of what's going on, macro patterns to happen, but right the injustices on a micro level. I hope that makes sense, okay? Spirit says, no more from the top, take from the bottom, and we have more celebration, abundance. This is the Six of Wands. Six of Bows is what I should say, about celebrating abundance. The people haven't arrived just yet, but there's that sense that they're on their way. They're gathering their supplies to really get started. There is abundance in your community, in getting together with people that you vibe with on a very deep level. Healing, and not just material abundance, but an abundance of healing, an abundance of love. We're meant to be together. We're meant to take action together. That's also what the bows are about. These are unstrung bows in the sense that they're not ready to fire arrows at all yet, because that's not their purpose. They're meant to herald the start of a celebration, maybe before war, maybe after war. Ultimately, it's meant to make you thankful for what it is you have with these particular people. Continuing on the bottom of the deck, we've got here the Page of Stones, the Lynx, a deeply powerful predator who protects its young, and who is a very beautiful creature, let me just say. All wild animals are very beautiful creatures, but if you ever look at videos of lynx, very, very beautiful, very close to the earth, but also they can climb trees just as well, okay? Very, very powerful animal. This is the start of something new. With the Page of Stones, or the Page of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, that is earth on earth energy. The start of something new, very material, very manifest. Hopefully, this is something that we like. Together with our communities, we can manifest something that is very permanent, and that is a legacy that we can pass on to younger members of our communities, okay? The next card from the bottom of the deck is the Page of Arrows. That's the Wren. And look, it's the start of spring for this particular Wren, too. It's coming out of hibernation. I don't know if wrens hibernate. I apologize. But this is definitely, the water is freeing. The snow is melting. It's time for winter to pass away. It's time for spring to come in. This is us keeping a watch on the changing of the seasons, the changing of the tides. When things start to look like they could get bad for a particular community, a disadvantaged community, it's time to leave for other warmer areas, if that makes any sense. It's time to head out as a group and keep the most disadvantaged in our communities safe while we travel to other areas. Both of these take care of their young in very specific and different ways, okay? One is more stuck to the earth, and one occasionally comes to earth, but is mostly of the air. We need different people of more earth energy, more air energy, fire and water energy. We need all kinds of people to make this particular community work. It takes all kinds of people. It takes a village, if you will, to raise new members of our communities. We need each other, even if we're very, very different people. More Capricorn, more Virgo, more Taurus energy. They need the people who are more Libra, more Aquarius, more Gemini. The thinkers need to be grounded together with the more with the doers who want to move more slowly. But also when these folks get to be a little bit more stubborn, get to be a little bit more unwilling to move in the places that we need to go, that's when air people need to use the gift of their words to tell people we need to move on to better and higher ground so that we can be safe all together and celebrate our abundance, so that we can heal, and so that we can exist in our reunion. We're meant to be together. How can we move together as safely as possible? And the next card is the Blasted Oak. In the Wildwood tradition, this is a combination of the Hanged Man and of the Tower. The Hanged Man has been hanged for long enough, has been suspended in a state of looking at the universe, looking at the world from a different angle. And now lightning is striking this particular very old tree and has struck the limb. That particular man cannot be hanged upside down any longer. He must touch earth. He must face the reality of his situation. And even though the bindings around his wrists and ankles are on fire, he's not being burned. And if you look at his face, it's almost like I know my camera's not great, but if you look at his face and images online, it's almost like he was expecting this to happen at any particular point. This is not surprising to him at all, like you will see in the faces of the figures in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith Tower card. We've got something coming sometime in 2025 and also in 2026. The planets will be in alignment in such a way that it creates the environments for some really catastrophic, drastic changes that a lot of us will be expecting, but also at the same time not completely prepared for. And it will force us to come in contact with the reality of our situations. This is not a context where you should be alone. This is landing on top of my reunion, healing, and abundance cards. These are not circumstances in which you should be alone. There's the greater likelihood that you could quite literally pass on out of the mortal plane sooner than you should if you are disconnected. Pay close attention to the universe when it brings people to you that you were meant to be with. This is still going to hit hard, but it will hit less hard if you're together with people and you can meld minds, you can get emotional responses and reactions from others, you can deal with the healing process together than if you ever could alone. Potentially this is a time of a painful enough time that people could commit suicide. And I'm not monetized, so I can say that. But I'm seeing the potential for a lot of people to say, I can't handle this anymore. I've worked so hard for so long and it just keeps getting worse. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not saying that urge will go away completely if you are in a community, but I do feel like it will be greatly lessened if you are attached to people that you trust, that you vibe with, and that you get on a very deep, fundamental, molecular level. So, what I want to do to close out this reading is from not the Wildwood Tarot, but from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle. And again, I am going to, sorry if I mic tapped, I'm going to shuffle once again until Spirit tells me to stop. We're going to take from the top. Here we've got imagination. Draw from the well of your own capabilities. That is going to greatly benefit your particular community. Together with the abundance card, everybody's got their own special imaginations. And when we pool imaginations, we pool resources, we make our communities so much more abundant. And this isn't just about defending ourselves or about healing ourselves from trauma. This is just about enjoying how beautiful life can be, even in the middle of destruction, even in the middle of the fall of the American Empire. We can still find beauty in decay, as hard as it may be, and a lot of people aren't there yet. If you are there, if you are able to see the beauty in decay and the falling apart of empires that have always existed on the backs of slaves, have existed on the backs of consumerism and of disadvantaged groups, then even then you can find the beauty in things like that falling apart. That's hard. You can teach others how to find the beauty there too. I'm not saying that it will be easy or that it'll be painless, but there's a special talent in being able to see decay and finding its own beauty in it, if that makes any sense at all. Excuse me. Here we've got happy life. Live a less guarded life. I'm getting that Queen of Swords imagery once again, even though it didn't appear in this particular reading. I feel like a lot of you have been hurt enough that you just don't want to be around people anymore, that you are ultra cautious. And there's the real risk that you could be ultra cautious around people who you're not supposed to be that cautious around. Obviously, boundaries exist and they're healthy, okay? But sometimes boundaries for some people needs to be considerably lower than they would be for people outside of people who really vibe with you, people who really get you, okay? Lower your guard with those people and see what happens. That's an incredible act of strength, and it will make you happier in the long run, even if it's kind of a painful process to allow people to come in again. Okay, I get that on a fundamental level. Last and not least, we've got make friends with the people that you're guided to be with. Friendship is the alchemy of success. I don't think I can explain that any better, really. You have some incredible things to contribute to your particular small community who you may not have met yet. Hold on and wait for those people. They are meant to be your life, and they will come into your life at the exact perfect moment. And when they do, let them in spite of all the scars you may carry. Let them in anyway. Make friends with them, and you will have a much happier life than if you'd been isolated and facing this blasted oak moment all by yourself. It's not worth it to be separate. It's not worth it to be stoic in this particular regard either. You need to be able to feel your emotions. You need to be able to feel the pain of decay while also recognizing the beauty. And that takes mental, spiritual, emotional maturity. And you may not be there quite there yet. That's okay. As long as you're growing to that particular point, you're doing great. And that's all from me. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed Imbolc. Take care. Okay. See ya.